armed violence in the country.
Sir, another question, sir. Will you raise the Sabah claim of the Philippines to the Malaysian authorities?
Not at this time, because my visit is just one day to focus on what is happening in the Molucca Strait. That area there is a vital artery going to the Pacific Ocean. Either you go down under Mindanao, or you can make your exit from Asia via the north, that is from Japan. So mamili lang sila. But what is important that I can talk to him about these issues of including the rebellion of the Moro in Olo and the Zamboanga archipelago.
Thank you, sir.
We have Maricel Halili from TV5.
Hi, Mr. President. Good morning. Sir, may we have your statement about the decision of Supreme Court yesterday allowing the burial of former President Marcos sa talibingin ng mga bayani, because some sectors are concerned about this, that how can they move forward if about 72,000 martial law victims have not received justice until now?
Well, as I have said, as a lawyer, I stick by what the law says. The law says that soldiers and ex-presidents, yung namatay, o baski hindi siguro ex, basta presidente ka, doon ka ilibing. Now, the question of this tussle about the dictatorship of Marcos is something which cannot be determined at this time. It has to have history. Kasi yung nasaktan, and it was a contention really of a political fight, initially, then turned sour because of the power struggle of the ruling political families in this country. And almost it deteriorated into something almost like a revolution. That part of the sins of Marcos has yet to be proven by a competent court. Yung sabihin lang niya na wala yung pera, that is altogether another different issue. But yung as far as the right or the privilege to be buried sa libingan ng mga bayani, I simply follow the law. Wala tayong magawa dyan. The law itself says that, well, he fits the completion to a T. He was a president and he was a soldier. I am limited to that issue. And on both counts, I would say yes.
Okay. Sir, on other issue, may we have your reaction on the test case filed by Senator Laila De Lima? Yesterday, sabi po ng Supreme Court, they are requiring the Solgen to discuss about your immunity. What's your take on this, sir?
I don't know what are my sins. So I'd rather leave it to the court. If there are cases filed already, edi hayaan natin. Mine was just to make public what was or is the corruption of the day and how drugs flourish inside our penal institutions, not only sa Muntinlupa but sa mga kolonya. And to this day, they are still making money from the inside. Ang traffic ng droga sa Pilipinas nanggagaling sa prisuhan. Sila yung may contact doon sa labas. At sila lang rin yung pwedeng mag-order. Any other guy would not do. But most of these guys are now in prison. So, kung sabihin mo na nahuli na natin yung mga drug lords, kulang yan. Kasi just like in mafia, in Mexico, the cartel there, Escobar, they continue to direct the traffic of drugs, cocaine, heroin, from their prison cells. Hindi nakaiba dito, as revealed by everybody. It's not enough that they are in prison. They have to be immobilized.
Thank you, sir.
Joseph Morong of GMA.
Sir, good morning po. Just going back a little bit on the Marcos issue. So yesterday, I think the SP Pimentel is saying that he might be, he may talk to you to maybe reconsider that decision. So the Supreme Court said naman there's no legal impediment, but it's up to you to really.
No, I do not. I do not have the sole power of the changing fortunes of this country. No president is allowed to have that kind of power at his. It has to be based on a law. Better, tingnan mo lang yung batas para sigurado ka. If you begin to speculate about allowing it, then you have to justify so many reasons why. And there are thousands or more than stories to tell and to weave out of martial law. The better practice is just to let it go by what the law says.
So ibig sabihin there's no changing the decision, sir, that yung itutuloy na talaga yung pag.
Well, I saw Bongbong yesterday in Tacloban. Sabi ko, it's your choice. Sabi niya na, same question like you. Can we now proceed? Ko, yes, you can. I've said before, I will not take my word back.
Sir, just one last question. Sir, on coming from the perspective of the victims, no? Kasi yung libingin ng bayani carries a certain meaning for some people. And then, ang sinasabi nila is that it has a tendency, because of the decision of the Supreme Court, to change a narrative of this country. Can we now consider Mr. Marcos, because he will be buried at the libingan ng mga bayani, can he be considered now a hero?
He being hero? Well, it depends on the beholder. You know, let me just, I'm not promoting any class struggle here. But all the Ilocanos are downhearted by the decision for so long that Marcos be buried at the libingan ng mga bayani. Halos lahat, without buong Ilocano nation, they are sad. Para sa kanila walang kasalanan si Marcos. And he was true to his word of what happened during the new society. Sabi ko, cannot be judged now. Mahirap yan ganon because mayroon pa mga nagsusulat, na tinatamaan, nakulong. Meron namang iba. So some great things that happened, well, of course, the discipline, the cleanliness initially, but towards the end of his term, or rule, for that matter, deteriorate because he lost control of the governmental machinery for being sick. Hindi na niya kaya. So doon nagka-leche-leche ang sitwasyon.
Our last question, Mr. President, is from the Philippine Daily Inquirer, Marlon Ramos.
Good morning po, Mr. President. Sir, regarding lang po sa the remarks that you made about the Vice President yesterday in Tacloban, which to many come as inappropriate and even tasteless. Are those necessary considering the event?
Again, I didn't get you.
Yung
You're saying about
the
the
remarks, about the Vice President.
Yes, sir.
Which too many see it or come as inappropriate and even tasteless
To,
to the Vice President. Even the Vice President has actually issued a statement that what you said about her yesterday were tasteless and inappropriate, considering
banda?
that sa Tacloban event.
what about?
Yung binanggit niyo po yung tinitignan niyo yung tuhod niya and that she's wearing short
Tuhod lang?
skirt during your
Yeah, I
cabinet
said she
meetings.
was wearing a skirt. Her tuhod was walang ano. Sabi ko hindi nagsisimba ito. It is appropriate. As a matter of fact, it is good. So what's the problem there? What find an issue? Success, lure? Ano dyan na naman yung media? Ano ba sabihin ko? Totoo naman. And I said that every meeting, you ask all of the cabinet members. The law says that soldiers and ex-presidents, yung namatay, o baski hindi siguro ex, basta presidente ka, doon ka ilibing. Now the question of this tussle about the dictatorship of Marcos is something
Marcos sa talibingin ng mga bayani, because some sectors are concerned about this, that how can they move forward if about 72,000 martial law victims have not received justice until now.
Well, as I have said, as a lawyer, I stick by what the law says. Going to the Pacific Ocean. Either you go down under Mindanao, or you can make your exit from Asia via the north. That is from Japan. So mamili lang sila. But what is important that I can talk to him about these issues of including the rebellion of the Moro in Olo and the Zamboanga archipelago.
Thank you, sir.
We have Maricel Halili from TV5.
Hi, Mr. President. Good morning. Sir, may we have your statement about the decision of Supreme Court yesterday allowing the burial of former President
Of armed violence in the country.
Sir, another question, sir. Will you raise the Sabah claim of the Philippines to the Malaysian authorities?
Not at this time, because my visit is just one day to focus on what is happening in the Molokas Strait. That area there is a vital artery